going into the ski lift, and we're off once again as we get near the end of the first lap here.
Yeah. Oh, Jimin had a nitrous banked and was using it to try to pass Cool, but Cool with great body blocking drove him into the wall. So Jimin's going to fall all the way down into 5th place here. Cool now in a comfortable lead there in first. No one really in drafting range even. As, I mean, Hyunsu, Ding, and Neil, they're going to have to start, almost working together to draft off each other to try and fight for that first place position. You don't really want to be focusing too much on body blocking the player behind you right now. You want to close to try and get that first place. Yeah,
now thanks to the hairpins, of course, eventually they'll catch back up, so it's a matter of who's just ahead in terms of top speed and boost, and Neil somehow, he actually pushes Cool out onto the outside as he just forces him. He kind of challenges him and says, well, do you want to crash together or do you want to make way? And Cool says, fine, I'll just overtake you on the jump. Now it's a 1v1 and Hyunsu closely pressuring behind him, and Cool stuck in between these two Live Sandbox players.
And Neil with some incredibly aggressive driving there. Ding on the outside, actually able to take first place for just a moment there. Now Cool here, hanging right, doing a little bit of drifting, trying to build up that nitrous gauge as we get closer and closer to the finish line. Neil still in first place. Will Cool be able to pass him though? Ding also here in second, but there's too many collisions. Neil's gonna pick up another first place finish. 3 out of the first 4 tracks going to Neil.
Neil's not a player to let that go. Right now, Insu and Cool, meanwhile, Hyunsu staying ahead of him, just hoping that maybe he'll have more of a chance, but he gets knocked out, and now it's back to the rivalry between Insu and Cool.
Oh, this is a 1v1 right now between Insu and Cool, it feels like, as Hyunsu's trying to close the distance, but whoever wins this race between Insu and Cool, should they finish first and second, whoever finishes first will meet Neil in the finals. Should Neil get that at least 1 point, and Neil right now in 4th. Oh, collision there. Insu falls to 4th. Cool now in first place. Insu has to play catch up, but Neil out of nowhere coming in a second.
That's the thing, Neil, he's having to wait for that opening, and he's just going to be able to find it right now, so pretty much we're guaranteed to end the track unless Neil somehow crashes into every wall coming up forward. And Insu, he's got such a long way, because now he's got Neil in between him and Cool. Insu wants to get to that top 2, but Cool's starting to run away.
Oh, Neil in first place right now.
Neil with the spin turn as well.
Oh, Cool just has to pass Insu. 500 meters left to go, Chobra.
And Insu now trying to get past Neil first, but Neil says, I'm sorry, I still have my own stats to fight for as well. And Cool, can he hold on to it? It's going to be Neil, Cool, and Insu falling to 4th. And that means it should be a Neil, Cool ace match in the solo finals of KDL Preseason 1.
As it can be kind of hard to defend this many racers here. He's actually, he's currently holding on. I keep thinking Ding's going to be able to pass him on the inner line as Insu just tries to body block and zone out literally everybody. It's such a difficult maneuver to do here with 3 racers right behind you, and Jimin eventually going to be able to find that angle and pass Insu. Ding now right behind him, but Insu's still in contention here as we enter lap number 2.
Yeah, Insu just kind of going for a crisscross here on the straightaway to get a couple extra slices in to try to catch up. Now Jimin bouncing off of the boundary there just a bit, but able to recover here in the middle of the track. And World has taken that opportunity to shoot back into first place. And Insu, now he's in the reverse position to have to fight through the crowd if he wants to retake first place and get the track selection for the coming round.
And for everybody here that's not Neil, you're looking at World in first place and you are sweating because him sitting in second, that's the cutoff. That's the guy that you got to pass. So we're going to see if they can close the distance here on World. And I would expect a lot more collisions on him if they can get close, but
they should be able to with the hairpins, but the question is where do the boost gauges lie, because that's how you're going to be able to maintain your speed. And look at that, Cool, because he was ahead with 1 extra boost, he's now right behind World. As they enter the hairpin, now World has to play defense. He cannot just focus on his own race. Hyunsu jumps around the outside to try to add pressure. Neil shoots forward into second place.
Yep, Neil even has a nitro in the back here as we're getting closer and closer to the finish line. Will he be able to pass World? Nice collision there on World. Oh, and he bounces off
He forces him off as a ping pong just back and forth between the walls. And Neil, no, Cool overtakes him at the near end as well. But Neil, his mission is done. He is able to regain control of the leaderboard as he comes in second place. But Nox still gets bumped out as he doesn't want to make too much way, and Insu just waits for that opening. Insu going for the slow and steady approach there in the difficult part of the track, and now getting ready for Lap 2, Insu's in contention for top 2 finish.
Yep, World though, he needs a better finish than 8th place that he got last time. Now in first here, up there with Neil as he wants to retake that 2nd place position. Keep in mind, it is top 2 that goes to the ace match here. Neil almost all but a shoo-in to qualify, so the question is who's going to go up against him? With a lot of racers very close behind.
Yeah, and the fact that Insu, even in these solo matches, he's constantly vying for these opportunities to just hard stop against his racers so that he stays ahead, and then he'll still manage to try to find an opening to catch up, and he's gonna have it. If there was ever a chance, everyone's still with double boost as they go into these hairpins.
Yeah, coming into the hairpins, Insu taking some nice lines, able to pass Hyunsu there. Now it's Jimin and Neil ahead of him, and we were talking about this earlier. Neil only needs the 1st place finish and then a pretty mediocre finish to actually send us to that ace match. And oh, with a collision there!
Oh,
that's going to buy a little bit of time, and now Insu and Jimin in 1 and 2.
Insu should have an opportunity to overtake, and he is going to be able to. He actually bumps Jimin out on that 2nd bump, and now he's in position. He just has to close to the corner. He's going to maintain his speed, and Insu with the 1st place finish he absolutely needed to catch up on the leaderboard. Meanwhile, Neil got knocked down all the way to 5th place, so we're not quite that close to wrapping up the solo matches just yet. To keep up in boost gauge, and now just making sure that he's able to maintain his speed at the top of the hill here. Neil just trying to play catch up.
Yep, Neil able to squeak into 1st place right now as we near the end of lap number 1. And, cool though, he's been very comfortable in these positions throughout this entire best of 5 where, he's just out of drafting range from Neil, and then he just waits for his time to strike. He waits for Neil to give him some kind of opening to actually pass him closer and closer to the finish line. And I mean, even there, he's holding on to these nitros. He's playing them very conservatively. He's not gunning to pass Neil right this second. He's waiting for a pivotal moment where he can clutch out the win.
Yeah, and right now, just looking at the boost gauges, Neil using everything he has to try to stay ahead. But look at this, Cool is constantly getting in like 1 or 2 extra slices on these straightaways. And he tries to bump Neil, but Neil, good recovery and defense off the wall, and Cool misses that opportunity, but he's not out of it just yet.
That was an excellent body block there by Neil, and Neil right now holding on to the nitro, a little bit ahead of nitro gauge. So Cool's really gonna have to draft, close the distance right now and boost as best he can. He was able to pass Neil previously on turns such as this on other tracks. Will he be able to do it again? We're getting close to the finish line now, Trogra.
Oh, Cool's timed it so well. The draft cooldown should be coming into play here as they enter the last section of the map. Here it comes. He boosts off of him, but Neil blocks him right out. And now they enter the straightaway, both of them still with the boost gauge. If Neil doesn't hit a wall, Cool doesn't. No, he gets one more draft right as they enter the final 90-degree turns.
Wow, what a moment here for Cool as he is going to sweep the best of 5 ace match 3-0, and you can really tell that he calmed his nerves after track number 1 as he will be your KDL Preseason 1 champion. Cool representing the Guangdong Freaks.